Good afternoon. We have Novak for you. Who's going to go first? Yeah.
Novak, we often ask you about the biggest challenges you face in facing a given opponent, but when you're playing the way you are right now, what do you think the biggest challenge is the opponent faces in you?
I don't know if I want to say that. I guess, especially at this stage, you want to keep your strengths and what you feel on the court for yourself rather than sharing it in public. But I sincerely hope that my opponent feels like he's got to work twice as more than against any other opponent to win a point.
How would you describe the different things that are going right for you right now?
I've been playing best tennis in this tournament in the last two rounds, fourth round and today, and especially today, second set and third set against Goffin, who was in form. I felt like I managed to really dismantle his game and find always the right shots, and very pleased with the performance. And this match could have gone different way. I was breakdown, and he was a better player for most of the first set, but I managed to turn things around, and I feel very good on the court, confident, going for the shots, trying to come to the net as well, be more aggressive, use the short balls. Hopefully serve also can be consistent, because I'm going to need that, and especially on grass. You're going to need a lot of free points on the first serves, and that's obviously a big advantage coming into last four.
You've been going to Wimbledon for a long time and spent a lot to go deep here. I'm curious if you ever had a chance to notice how many nice flowers there are here.
Right here.
Some right here, sure.
Yes.
Just when you're walking around.
They're beautiful. Yeah, I actually like early hours of the day. When before the public and the crowd comes in, that's when you can actually move around freely as a player, and that's where you notice how much effort and time people who are working in organization and management here, how much time and efforts they're investing into making this club probably the most famous tennis club in the world.
Novak, you have Roberto Bautista Agut next. I think it's the third time this year already that you're playing him. And what do you think is the toughest thing about his game? Because he has played you tough and has beaten you a couple of times this year. What's the toughest thing about him?
His consistency, I think. His ability to stay in the point, even when it seems like he's on the back foot. He's got amazing consistency, I think, with his shots, very flat from both forehand and backhand, and he has improved his backhand. I think he's got more depth on his backhand. The ball bounces lower on the grass, which is, I think, more suitable to his style of the game. He doesn't like when the ball bounces higher to his backhand. So he's been definitely playing some very, very high quality tennis in this tournament, and as you mentioned, he has won twice against me so far this year. So that's certainly going to give him confidence coming into the match. Obviously, playing on grass, it's different. And semifinals of Grand Slam, I'm gonna try to use my experience in being in this kind of matches and get myself tactically prepared. Hopefully, I can execute everything I intend to do.
Novak, David just said that it's like at some point, 4-3 down, you decided to play the ball, to not miss a ball, and to put everything in the goal. It looks simple when said like this, but what was the switch in the mindset for you to turn this match around?
Well, that was a long game on 4-3, and I just managed to make him play and come into the net. I played a couple of good points, got back into the first set, and it was I think turning point. Winning first set. It was a huge relief, I think, mentally for me. So I started relaxing and going through the ball a bit more. And David plays very clean. Has a very clean game. So if you manage to get into your rhythm, then it feels nice. It feels comfortable being on the court. But again, he was in form and he was playing well. I just managed to really find holes in his game and attack him. I've played as good as I've played the entire tournament.
Well, was it such a shock to lose that serve that after you made 15 games out of 17? And for the second year in a row, you may have 4 semi-finalists all over 30. Are you like the wine, the good wine, the Italian wine?
The Italian, of course.
The Italian, of course. That gets better with
The Sassicaia.
Sassicaia. Oh, you well, good.
Yeah,
You prepared.
when I used to drink it. I'm not drinking it anymore.
Not anymore.
I guess that's the case, yeah. And I'm just glad to be one of the guys who is 30 plus and to be still in that group, Don't ask me more questions about young tennis players and when it's their time to come up, because, we've talked about this. And I said that eventually it's going to happen, but it doesn't seem like it's happening on Grand Slams. And I guess, this is where, especially Nadal, Federer and myself, we, in a way, we go on to next level in terms of tennis and focus. And we're very dedicated to these tournaments in particular. I think at this stage of all of our careers, this is what matters the most for us.
Novak, out of curiosity, when you were down for 3, you were quite silent playing till that point, and then you started a little bit of grunting, a little bit of vocalizing your shots, and you immediately raised your level. Is it something that comes out of your instinct, something you think about it? Because it was quite clear from the stands.
Interesting. I did not notice that, but it's obviously mental as much as it's physical. So if you're not feeling so well at the beginning, you don't start a match well. You're on the back foot because your opponent is feeling that he has a chance to dominate the play from the baseline. So he was closer, I was further. He was dictating, and in a way, losing the serve on 3 all helped. Because it just after that, now that I lost my serve, I can actually start playing freely and attack more. So probably it was the case. Whether the grunting helps, I don't think there is any particular rule, but yeah, today it did, and I don't know. It sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. But I guess it's just it's part of my style.
We have time for 2 more questions here and here.
Novak, is there anything you still feel like you need to learn on grass? You don't even have to tell us what it is, but is there anything, or have you hit a ceiling and now it's a matter of maintenance? It's hard to imagine you playing better, frankly.
Well, thank you. I mean, I take that as a compliment, but I'm trying to always be obviously very positive and optimistic about my game, and but at the same time, I know that there is room for improvement always, and certain shots in my game, like serve and slice, and I think I can maybe come in more at times. There's always things that you can improve. I'm not being self-critical. I just think that this is the healthy way of thinking, and for an athlete to always strive to be better.
Like when you study film from this tournament, for instance, and say, well, this is how I was hitting my backhand, but I should do this more. Or something.
Yeah. Yes, I'm doing that. I'm doing that often, and I also, speak with my coaching staff, and obviously they do the same. So we, adjust accordingly to the surface as well. Obviously when the grass court season is finished, and the focus is on the hard courts, but in general, there are elements in my game that can always be better, but I know what my strengths are, so of course I try to stick with that base.
Last question.
The shot that seems to just separate you from the pack is your return of serve. And when you're on a roll like you were at the end of the first set, through the second set, what does it feel like for you to be returning the way you were, the way you see the ball? How does that feel?
Well, ball all of a sudden looks and seems larger than it actually is, and it's a good feeling, I must say.
Okay, we need to go into Serbian.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sve čestitke, sjajna pobjeda i oduševljeni smo pre svega tvojom pojavom na terenu koja je izuzetno dominantna. Ipak u sledećem meču igraš protiv igrača koji je pobedio od vaša posljednja meča i koji je tvoj odnos prema tome s obzirom na stanje u kome se sad nalaziš?
Pa to je situacija u kojoj se nalazim i sigurno da njegova pobjeda, pogotovo u Majamiju, će mu poslužiti za samopouzdanje i izaći će uveren da može da ponovi taj uspeh i on je jedan nezgodan igrač zbog njegovog stila igre i mog stila igre, onako nezgodno je meni da kažem igram protiv njega i pogotovo kada uđe u onu zonu gde prosto malo greši. I to je verovatno njegova najveća prednost i to ga karakteriše. Manjak grešaka, dakle on svede bukvalno na minimum minimuma neke nepotrebne greške, neiznuđene greške. I svojom konsistentnošću je uspeo i mene da pobedi, a i da dođe do polufinala Wimbledona i da bude jedan od najkonsistentnijih igrača na turu u poslednjih nekoliko godina. On je stalno negde oko 15-20 na svetu. Tako da on je jedan od onih igrača koga morate da pobedite. Neće vam dati pobedu, neće ispromašivati lopte. Tako da znam šta me očekuje, vrlo dobro poznajem njegovu igru. Mislim da nikada nismo igrali jedan protiv drugog na travi. Tako da će ovo biti isto taj prvenac u tom smislu.
Koliko iznenađenje što je uopšte u polufinalu? Mislim da ni on sam nije očekivao da će biti u polufinalu Wimbledona.
Pa dobro, sigurno da jeste iznenađenje s obzirom da mu je ovo prvo polufinale Grand Slema uopšte. On je igrao, ja mislim, ranije nekoliko četvrtfinala, ali ovo je podloga koja komplimentuje njegovu igru, koja dosta odgovara njegovom stilu igre, dosta ravno i sa backhand i forehand strane, spreman je fizički, dobro se kreće, mentalno je vrlo čvrst, stabilan, smiren i zna kako da se nosi sa pritiskom i sa igranjem na centralnom terenu protiv najboljih igrača na svetu. Tako da vrlo zrelo, kako kažem, pristupa mečevima i imam poštovanja definitivno za njega, imamo vrlo lep odnos van terena. Tako da siguran sam da će biti veliki izazov i za mene i za njega, naravno. Ja ću morati dobro da se spremim i nadam se najbolje mogućoj egzekuciji tog taktičkog plana.
Koliko je nezgodno to što je sada trava sličnija betonu, odnosno hardkorsu, a što njemu recimo dosta odgovara, ne odnosno na tebe, nego njemu lično odgovara? Pa
nezgodno je sigurno na bilo kojoj podlozi protiv njega, pogotovo na podlozi gde niže odskače, zato što to njemu odgovara prijemu, prosto igra jako ravno. I napredovo je sa backhand strane koja mu je slabija od forehand, ima više dubine, naravno forehand je izuzetno čvrst, stabilan iz bilo koje pozicije na terenu i više dobija od svoje serve na ovoj podlozi. Nema ubitačan servis, ali je precizan i podloga mu pomaže da mu je efikasniji, kako ga kažem, i opasniji servis.
Kakav je osjećaj imati 70 pobjeda na Wimbledonu i biti 9. put u polufinalu? Sa ovom pobjedom, sa tih 9 polufinala si izjednačio i Borisov rezultat.
Pa, sigurno da mi godi da se nastavlja da se, kažem, pravi, beleži beleže rezultati koji su u istoriji sporta koji jako volim i cenim, a s druge strane opet ne vodim tu evidenciju, kako kažem, ne pratim sada do te mere da mi treba četvrtfinale ovde da bi mogu tu istoriju i tako dalje. Mislim, imam svoju pažnju usmerenu na malo bitnije stvari, a to je trofej ovde na Wimbledonu. Nadam se da ću imati priliku da se borim za taj trofej u nedelju.
Kažu da je trava godine sporija i tako objašnjavaju što je Bautista, što je Peljar,
da.
Gofan, što su tako daleko otišli. Kako se tebi čini?
Moguće, da. Sad, da li je trava u pitanju, možda ima i neke veze sa lopticama. U određenim danima, recimo, kada su uslovi kao danas možda malo teži, malo veća vlaga i onda to utiče na brzinu loptice i uopšte na teren. Pa ali trava je trava nekako, to je najbrža podloga koju imam.
Okay.
Hvala.
Hvala.